Lately, back with another video, and this is the Housewives of Potomac, Season 3, Episode 2, the press conference. I'm late getting this on, but I'm finally getting it together, so you're gonna finally get it. So let's get started. So the show opens up with Monique. She is waiting for her mattress to arrive. She is talking about how she is so stressed. I don't know how. You're rich. You got people moving the mattress in. You got workers. You got helpers. I don't get it. But anyway, so the delivery guys bring the mattress through the house, get it set up. Bam, they out of there. Meanwhile, Karen pulls up in a brand new sports Jaguar car. And this car apparently is supposed to be worth $100,000. So I guess this is Karen just saying that, letting everybody know, I don't have no money problem. So she comes and she visits Monique. She brings a housewarming gift and she checks out the new pad. She's loving the house. She says she's happy for Monique and Chris. And, she said one of the few successful black couples in Potomac. Meanwhile, Giselle comes and visits Robin. She's talking about how the place is too far, how there's nothing out there, restaurants, gas stations. I think it's just so silly. But anyway, she's coming to visit Robin, and Robin states that they are getting ready to move. But the move is around the corner. So they're not even leaving the subdivision. They're just going around the corner and they're getting another townhome. They're supposed to be bigger and more spacious. Robin said that it makes sense to stay there because it's only 20 minutes away from the school where Juan coaches. So that's why they made a decision to go ahead and stay there. And then I guess someone was saying, are they, moving too fast because, Juan just got the job, he haven't really got through a season yet. And are you really ready to make moves? Because, sometimes they do fire basketball coaches. So anyway, Monique, meanwhile, it's like going back and forth. So you see Giselle visiting Robin, then you see Karen visiting Monique. So they're like back and forth in terms of, showing scenes and conversation. So Monique is asking Karen, how is she holding up? And Karen was like, yeah, I really appreciate you, being concerned about me. Because Monique said she couldn't imagine having to go through what Karen is going through. And Karen pretty much tell Monique that she and Ray, never had a joint account. Monique said, pretty much what the, because she said her and Chris has always, been, had a joint account. Of course, she acknowledged him as the breadwinner, but she said she's the manager. So she, even though he's bringing in all the money and stuff, she's keeping track of the finances and knowing what's going in, what's coming out, and all that good stuff. Pretty much, meanwhile, back at Robin's, they're discussing what happened at the lunch. And Robin was just saying how, the lunch started out okay. Then, Karen got pretty hostile when she really tried to push the button and question her. And she said, pretty much, Karen, Karen stormed out. From there, Giselle is going on a date with Sherman. Limo picks them up. And they are heading to a vineyard that's kind of out. And they have a private picnic set up. And, it's a nice little, area. It's very, little romantic feel. And they're saying, if they were to move forward and blend their families, there's going to be a lot of kids. Because he has 3 kids from his previous marriage. And she has 3 kids from a previous marriage. And Giselle's saying, she likes, Sherman kids. Her girls like him. And she really think when the time come and they're ready to blend the families, she'll think it'll be able to work. from there, I guess she got a little hot or whatever, so they decided to go off in the vineyard within the vines and yeah, have a good time, if you know what I mean. So Ashley is at Oz and she is getting ready to host Sipping with Socialites event, the Bliss Brunch. And at this point, the restaurant is tending to do well. It looks pretty crowded in there, and we're not talking about the people that are there for Ashley's event, but it just seems like, business is starting to boom. And Ashley even mentioned that because they were saying, they got to get ready for 150 guests, and then they already got people in the restaurant. So that is good. Things are looking up. Things are picking up. I told you all, like, when it got towards the end of the season, I think they revamped that menu because I went online just to check it out. And it looked like they had some more Americanized options on there. So that probably, will help. And then, like they said, if you're not a big celebrity, open up a restaurant, it takes time with restaurants. If you, like, I think Candy and Todd's restaurant jumped off so big because they're well known. So you watch them as they got ready for the restaurant. So there was this big anticipation. But with Ashley, she's up and coming in terms of this Housewives world. So we're going to get back to the review. So Monique attends, and in walks the newest housewife, Candace. Ashley know Candace from the pageant world. Ashley was crowned Miss DC, and she went on to compete for Miss America. And Candace, won her pageant, which is Miss United States. So that's how they met and made a connection. Monique is asking Ashley, how are things with Michael? And Ashley said, they're, okay. I mean, they showed them, having a fun moment, making the bed up, doing what couples do. So that was just a sign of maybe things are turning around. Monique and Candace got to talking, and it was like a back and forth, it's like cattling, like howling, chief wah-wahs or whatever. So it was like, Candace was like, because I went to Howard, and Monique is, my sister went to Howard, and she said, my husband name is Chris, and Candace like, my fiance name is Chris, and then it just, that's how it sound. So, Monique was pretty much, from there was telling them that they got a lot of fake girls in the group. She have fake tendencies as well. So, yeah, we'll see how Candace, we'll get to learn more about Candace along the way. So, it's moving day for Robin and Juan. And Robin Robin got a few movers, and they packing up. And Juan is working, and she got the boys out there working. And while she's packing up, she... she said she just remember how back in the day they can just hire people to do everything. She wouldn't have to lift a finger. And when they moved, so she was saying like she's able to hire packers and movers and everything, and didn't think things about it. And she, she was packing up some stuff, and she came across some of their wedding gifts that they never used. And then Juan was saying, maybe we should give it away or sell it, so somebody else can really use it. And they just got Robin reflecting, she said, when we got married, it was so much hope for us, because they were like teenage love affair, they been dating each other been together for a long time. And she was just saying how she was with Juan before the money, she was with Juan during the money, and once the money gone, she's still with Juan. So she was just saying something about, how she, being with a man while he's building up. And then Ashley, can't relate because she walked into a relationship where the man was already rich. But I'm like, Robin, did you sacrificed a lot to build him up. I mean, Robin didn't really build him up. But from what I understand is that the family, they really, made him into the man they are. Like his dad mentored him, taught him how to be a man, and his mom helped him with his academics to be on track. So her family really invested a lot into him as, grooming him as a person, as an individual, even when he was in his youth. So anyway, where we go from there? Oh, yeah, we're moving on from that. Karen is at her house. She's online and she's just seeing tweets from Giselle and from the other girls, and it's kind of like ticking her off. And she has decided that she wants to go ahead and hold a press conference meeting so the girls can gather together, air out their differences. I guess Karen can speak her piece and just be done with it. So she goes down a list, start calling the girls and inviting them, and they all have agreed to come because she wants to discuss her hurts. Candace is out with her fiance Chris, and we learned that Candace met him while they both worked at a restaurant. He was the restaurant manager, she was the hostess. She was just saying how they were friends at first, and from there a love relationship developed. He had just proposed to her in May of 2017. He had a surprise party for her, and his parents drove up. He had her family in, and he proposed to her, and she said it was nice to be proposed to in front of your closest family and friends. And she was just saying, she never thought he would have been like the one. He's been previously married. He has 3 children by 2 different women. So yeah, she said, but it's all coming to work out. So apparently, Candace grew up in a more of a Potomac lifestyle type of family, prestigious, and Chris seems like he's just one of those around the way guys, but it looks like they get along and they're in love. So kudos to them. It's the day of the press conference, and Karen has brought in her assistant Matt to help set up and help guide the conversation or just be there for moral support. Giselle is getting ready for the event, and she is making shirts that say pound hashtag God bless the Hugers, and on the back she was bogus by saying hashtag free Karen, hashtag Uncle Ben, hashtag tax reform. So I was dying, cracking up, laughing when I saw that. When they arrived, okay, let me see. Who I wrote R. Okay, the girls are arriving, and Karen is in this another jumpsuit. Karen was rocking the hell out of jumpsuits this episode because earlier she had like a jumpsuit, Adidas style jumpsuit on when she went to visit, Monique, and this time she has on like an army style fatigue jumpsuit with a Gucci belt. But Karen is looking pretty nice this season. I'm liking the straight hair, her clothes. She's in shape. She's looking actually kind of nice. She's not looking last semester. Last semester. Those last 2 seasons, her hair kind of made her look much, much older. We already know she's old, but it made her look much, much older. But yeah. So the girls started vibing, and Giselle arrives and she showed Karen the shirt, and Karen's like, Giselle, as always, is always messy. Karen is trying to, lay down the rules of the conversation, and she feels, if she feels threatened or she feels like things are getting out of hand, she's gonna shut it down. They question Matt, want to know why is he here? What's his claim? And she said she's been knowing Matt for 12 years, and they've been friends. And everybody said, well, they've been knowing Karen for quite a bit, and they don't remember Matt being, that close of a friend. Karen started passing out the copies of the tweets of what the girls were saying, and Giselle was saying that she wasn't responding to the shade room. She was like doing a repost. She said her intentions was not to be malicious, but she was just reposting something that was said. Robin asked, was the move based on the tax issue, and Karen said no. Karen said it's not. Said it's not tied, and she said no, and she said the situation is not tied to her financial situation because they have separate accounts. And Karen said she learned a lot from her first marriage to make sure you had your own account. So when she entered the marriage with Ray, she made sure she kept an account that was just solely on her. And then she was saying how they don't file taxes together. And then Robert said, well, aren't there benefits, for you all to file taxes as a couple? But, Karen was tap dancing, he, and Keegan all around of it. And she got she got hostile, and then she said she's done. She said, oh, hold on. She said she's done with the conversation. It's getting too hostile. She's done with the conversation. From there, Karen questions Ashley about Mike, because apparently there was some pictures on the Instagram about Mike, I don't know, being nude. And Ashley was saying, yeah, but it wasn't picked up by the Washington Post. So that was like a dig back from Ashley. Ashley says she's in business with Michael. She signs all type of paperwork and knows how the finances are set up and where things are going. And she said she just couldn't imagine how Karen's just in the dark. And even Robin says she knows, where every dollar's going, even though they have financial issues of their own. Matt was getting ready to talk, and then Karen cuts him off. And then, it was continue of a lot of back and forth. And then Ashley asked Karen, was she indicted? And then Karen really got mad, and she said, okay, if you wasn't indicted, was Ray indicted? So it's just more back and forth, and then nothing was, pretty much resolved. I think Karen's really gonna walk out at this point. And then it just said the show end, and it's just saying to continue next week. So we're gonna pick up where they left off in terms of the press conversation. So far the season is centered around centered around Karen and her issues. It's just important to be honest. You can be up one day, be down the next day. It happens. We're human. Life happens. So I don't know why Karen acts like, you just can't say, hey, we ran into some issues. So that is it. That is all. Stay tuned for more videos. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, peace out.